So today, once again, I have to report. You've probably already heard that there was a mass shooting at a school near San Antonio, Texas. That's a city where I've played music a long time ago. Uh, Actually, it wasn't in San Antonio proper, but outside of it. But the shooter's name is Salvador Ramos, and I'm already seeing all kinds of stuff on social media claiming that he was an illegal immigrant. I don't know this for a fact. I haven't checked it yet. I just decided to make this video while I'm walking, taking my daily walk here. As you can see, it's kind of a cloudy and cooler day here in northern Colorado, but I wanted to talk about this. And we've had several of these mass shootings in my state, starting with Columbine, 1999. And then there was the Aurora Century 16 Theater shooting. That's a school that I took my own kids to when they were young. Saw a lot of movies there. And James Holmes, a crazy, psychotic leftist, shot up that school. Theater, sorry. And then we had another mass shooting in Boulder last year. And one has to keep asking themselves, why are these things happening? You know, people are wondering, what's happening? Why are we seeing these mass shootings like this? And now we have another one down in Texas, where the latest info says that 21 people were shot and killed, including 18 students and a teacher. And then the guy, Salvador Ramos, shot his own grandmother and killed her. And people are wondering, what's causing this? Why do we have this kind of violence? Why is society doing this? Especially in the last about 25 years. These kind of mass shootings didn't happen when I was in high school in the 70s, and everybody had guns in the back windows of their trucks or their Jeeps back in those days. I remember it. A lot of the guys I went to high school with, they put guns in the back of their windows in their trucks, and it wasn't a big deal. Nobody said anything. Nobody even cared, because there were no mass shootings in those days. They didn't exist. Automatically today, the left is already calling for gun control, and that's not going to fix anything, frankly. It won't fix anything. We've got a different kind of problem here. Ever since Columbine happened and that tragedy down there happened, I've thought about this stuff and why they're happening. And every time another one happens over the last 24 years or so, this Bible verse pops into my head. Mathew 24:12. And because of lawlessness and wickedness will increase, or because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. Because of the increase of wickedness or lawlessness, the love of most will grow cold. Those are the words of Jesus himself, and he was talking to the disciples about the last days, the end times before he returned. He was describing what things would look like. And frankly, what he described 2,000 years ago is exactly what it looks like today, isn't it? Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most, or the love of many, will grow cold. Mathew 24:12. It's exactly what we're seeing. That's exactly what we're seeing. I believe we're in the last days. We are in those last days that Jesus talked about before he returns. He described it in Matthew 24 pretty vividly, and one of those things was that things would become so wicked, so lawless, that the general caring and love that people have for each other will decrease dramatically. And frankly, that's exactly what we're saying, isn't it? And so whenever one of these things happens, another school shooting, whether it's this one today, San Antonio, which sounds like it's one of the worst we've ever had. These little kids were shot up horrifically in a grade school. And every time one of these things happens, it just reminds me of that Bible verse over and over again. And it just keeps happening, keeps happening, keeps happening. And people are wondering what's causing this. Well, we've turned away from God. We've decided to throw God away in our society and, cast him aside. We don't want the things of God in our society anymore. I mean, we have people saying such things today. We have atheists who are suing different schools and suing different colleges and suing different individuals that want to get rid of the Bible, get rid of any mention of Jesus out of the public square. And frankly, I feel like we're getting pretty much what we've asked for. We've allowed these people, these atheists and the godless, to win in these court cases. They've won many of them ever since Madeline Murray O'Hare, way back in the 1960s, and she won that court case. And ever since then, the godless and the lawless and the atheists, have been winning many of these court cases. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I think that the more our society just pushes God out of the mainstream, the more we push the name of Jesus Christ out of the mainstream, the more we push the name of God out of our culture and push any recognition of him in our society, then the opposite is going to come in and take over. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We've thrown God out, and so the opposite of God is coming in. He's giving us what we've asked for, or at least what the demonic atheist and the hardcore communists who deny God's existence and those who deny and hate God, they are pushing this, and they're winning in certain respects. We've pushed God out of our mainstream culture, and those of us who are Christians, there haven't been enough of us speaking out against this and saying, no, this isn't right. And the more we push God out of our national conversation, the more we push the name of Jesus Christ and the Lord out of our public discourse, the more godless it's going to get. And then this is what we see. We see what the lack of God causes: destruction, school shootings, massive number of shootings in Chicago every year, general lawlessness. That's exactly what Jesus described in Matthew 24. And so when these things happen, that's what I see happening. It's the cause is because we've taken God out of our culture. We've removed the Lord out of the public discourse. And when that happens, then God begins to let us have our way out